Come on. What happened to that Social Security check? I need those new rims. Yeah. Your medication. You could break those pills in half. I need new rims more than you need that heart medicine. Grandma, stop ducking me. Stop duck. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just discussing the possibility of some short-term bridge financing with my dear grandmother. Didn't see you there. My name is DannyDealz. The show is Un Poco Mas, where we try to bring you just a little bit more. Today, my executive producer and our head analyst, Hurricane Lopez, wanted me to discuss NIO, ticker symbol NIO. Most of us long-term NEO investors know that the stock ran up to about 60 bucks in early 2021. And after a little bit of action there toward the top, the stock has been on a long decline over the last, 2 years or so. Um, and the stock has come all the way down from about the $57 level, bottomed out at about 8 bucks, and has now come back up just below this $10 level. A couple of things going on with NIO. Coming up, the Shanghai Auto Show, lots of stuff going on there. Some comments on production, and then some comments on where we're going with their swap and charging network. Um, First off, if you take a look just at the today's action on NEO, it was a really good day. It was up 56 cents or 6%. A lot of that was on the back of Xpeng, which is one of NEO's rivals. They're unveiling a stunning cost savings with a new production process. This spiked a great gain for Xpeng of 15%, and then it also took Lee and NEO both up 6%. Tesla was up 1% on the day. Nikola was up 10%. Rivian up 2, and so it was a really good day for EV all around, particularly the Chinese EV stocks and the pre-revenue growth EV stocks, such as Nikola. Not sure what the news was there on Nikola, but we can look into that later. So volume today was a little higher than average, almost 50 million shares traded. The range was $9.51 to $10.02. And the stock basically went up at open for the first couple of hours and then just traded sideways the rest of the day. Stock actually touched $10, topped out at $10.02. If we take a look at the chart, again, a lot of this charting is somewhat wishful thinking, but NEO had basically been trading in this channel here. Um, Starting at roughly 13 bucks when it crossed down, and then it was trading around 9, and then the channel's just kind of bled sideways and down. It's tested the bottom now 3 times. It's bounced off the top twice, so this channel's been pretty consistent. This last time off sort of this triple bottom we had in October, then December, and then March, we caught this new little trend line in here, and this is pretty much meaningless. I mean, I'm just drawing lines on a chart. It doesn't really mean anything, but this could fall right back down. Charting is not an exact science, obviously, but you try to look for patterns, and NEO certainly lends itself to that exercise. So my theory just being in terms of key levels here, if we are going to break out to the upside off of a triple bottom, um, this tends to be like the slope of the line that NEO has been going up on roughly. So if you're going to break out on this run, you'd have to challenge this 1185 level. And then if you could get past that to this other upper channel that has been far more challenging, we bounced off in February 2022, basically March 2022. June 2022, again in September 2022, before we fell all the way down to the doldrums we find ourselves in now. So, if somehow we could break to the upside and challenge that range, we would be looking at about $18.75. So those are a couple of key levels you can have a look at if you like. Shanghai Auto Show is coming up like tomorrow for the next few days. CNEV Post, which is one of the best resources, I think it is the best resource for information on EVs in China. Um, Talking about what you can expect from NIO. Now, there's all kinds of things going on with the Shanghai Auto Show, but again, it says here the most important of these are undoubtedly the new ES6 and the ET7. They are important for NIO's future sales growth. So that's the first highlight is new models. The ES6 with Banyan Intelligent System will debut, and the new 2023 ET7 will be officially unveiled. I just saw that the ET7 order time had gone out a little bit, 3 to 4 weeks instead of two. So looks like they're going to have these new models. I would say hitting customers anytime now, right after the auto show. That would be my suspicion. I know they have been retooling for that one. And the first ET7, it was not very well received. They had a lot of production delays, and it was just kind of a low point for NIO management in their execution. So I know they're trying to prove something here and make sure that the updated NIO ET7 is the best it possibly can be. I'm not going to go through all of these. These are more sort of the personal, like kitschy side of Neo. A lot of the experiences, the lifestyle, they're making furniture, but a Neo Innovation Area visitors can experience 3D Dolby panoramic sound, Wandering Earth 2. They want you to be like at home in your Neo. There's this amazing assistant, cockpit, sound system. The supercar EP9. This is the electric supercar that has fastest lap times. I think at Nuremberg and um, other tracks. Anyway, it's they're gonna have three of those on display. New battery swap experience. This is very critical. NIO's third generation battery swap will be present on the show floor and demonstrate the full battery swap process. The full range of NIO charging products, including the 500 kilowatt ultra fast charger and the NIO Power Cloud, will be on display. NIO Power Cloud is going to be a key product. We're going to talk about that in an upcoming video. New Seeds Talk, Seeds knowledge sharing platform. We'll have a sharing session in the booth. Tim Pan, ET7 owner and founder of MediaStorm, will be there with four guests. I guess these are these jabronis. I don't really know who these guys are. New products from Neo Life. They're going to be making furniture. Looks like, futons or portable spas. I don't know what the hell those things are. I wish Neo would focus and stop. They can contract that stuff out. They can put their name on it, but I really don't think they need to be spending time on these products. Particularly, I hope they've dropped Neo Phone. That was a dumb idea right from the start. We need to focus on ET5, ES6, ET7. And getting those units into production so we can penetrate the market and get some scale and make these battery swap and charging networks pay off for us so we can get some of that production growth that we've been promised as NIO investors. NIO user interaction. This is one of the things people really like about NIO. It's like a family. There will be volunteers to help new users, excursions throughout Shanghai, mystery box benefits, etc., etc., etc. William Lee and the co-founder Quinn Lee Hong will be available for face-to-face interviews. So that's exciting. Really, the ES6 and the ET7 are critical. ET7 being the flagship ship, ES6 being sort of that rounded hatchback that is so popular with Mercedes. And of course, NIO is looking to take on Mercedes, BMW, and the other big boys in terms of the upper tiers in the Chinese market. Um, if we take a look at some other articles on CNN EV Post, NIO swap stations with Sinopec reach 102 as partnership turns 2 years old. With Sinopec, they've also built 121 supercharging stations and 28 destination charging stations. This is critical. Chinese fossil fuel giant Sinopec have built more than 100 battery swap stations together, and their partnership turns 2 years old. Second anniversary of strategic partnership. NIO and Sinopec on April 15th, the first two third generations battery swap stations built by the two companies were put into operations. The fact that NIO innovates so quickly is really, it's a double-edged sword. It's good and it's bad. I feel like they're running just a little bit too fast. I'd like them to pull back on some of the timetables and actually get more units out there because we don't have enough cars really in the field to take advantage fully of all the battery swap stations that they're building. At least, that's my sense of it. Um, So in any case, this is really good news. You can see on this map, they're covering the major cities in China with swap, with super fast charge, with fast charging, and this is just a tiny fraction of the stations they've built. The 100 with Sinopec, they've built another, 1,200 just on their own NIO branded battery swap. I think there's about 1,300. Um, in China at this time. Yeah, as of April 14, NIO had 1,344 battery swap stations and two. I don't know why my vision's so blurry. I don't have my glasses on. Hey, what do you know? Now I can see. As of they had and 2,455 charging stations in China, providing 14,584 charging piles. Its charging map also has access to more than 680,000 third-party charging stations in China. Um, and on April 12th, NIO's first 10 third generation battery swap stations went live in 10 Chinese cities, marking the start of its aggressive infrastructure build out this year. This is where things get a little bit shaky. You ask yourself, is NIO's management realistic with the numbers that they put out? You have to think they are. You have to think they know the consequences if they just get out and lie and aren't giving accurate information. I mean, even if it's a little bit ambitious or optimistic, at least possible, at least in the range of possibility. So NIO announced plans late last year to add 400 battery swap stations in 2023, but that plan was raised to 1,000 on February 21st. So that to me is very odd. Their plan was to build 400 battery swap stations this year, and they raised that by 2.5 times to 1,000 on February 21st. Um, William Li, NIO's founder, chairman, and CEO, said at the time that the company would further accelerate the development of battery swap stations, aiming to have more than 2,300 battery swap stations in China by the end of 2023. I know they're also, I believe, trying to build 100, I believe it was, in Europe. Um, and also, this is another NIO Energy article, CNEV Post, April 17, 2023. NIO's first 15 ultra-fast 500 kilowatt charging stations go into operation. The 500 kilowatt chargers can charge an EV from 10% to 80% in as little as 20 minutes for a 400 volt model and as little as 12 minutes for an 800 volt model. That is extraordinary, getting an 80% charge in 12 minutes. And these are actually in operation now, as well as their third generation battery swap stations are in operation now. So, NIO, while they are very ambitious and they might be moving a little bit too fast in terms of the charging network and battery swap infrastructure for my taste, I'd like to see them concentrate a little bit more of their resources on production of vehicles and get their numbers up a little bit. And that would, I think, balance out the equation a little bit more. But the electric vehicle maker today announced the development, saying the first 500 kilowatt ultra fast charging stations are put into operation in 12 cities, including Haikou, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Qingdao, and 3 highway service areas. So that's really good news for the NIO investor. It's not even, they're not just going battery swap and battery leasing, they're also full bore into their own charging network and their ultra fast chargers. 500 kilowatt is the peak power of the charging facility, which has a maximum charging current of 660 amps, and NIO said the performance far exceeds that of other supercharging stations currently in the electrical vehicle industry. So NIO, state of the art all the way around. If it's full self-driving, sensors, if it's battery swap, if it's fast charge, NIO is looking to be at the forefront of the cutting edge. Um, and so this is just really good news on top of their, you know, news at the Shanghai Auto Show. Their energy side is in full swing, charging, battery swap. I know they're also developing in-house batteries. They're going after lithium. They're going after end-to-end with full vertical integration, at least as much as possible. And this is really good news for the NIO investor. Um, Okay, so production. This is the part that I think, um, you know, this is problematic because, okay, again, like the battery swap stations, NIO is telling us that they're going to go from their 400 previous guidance to 1,000. Again, huge increase. Now, NIO is also telling us, pardon me, that they're going to go and manufacture 250,000 vehicles in 2023. Now, I understand that they're retooling for the ET7 and that they're ramping up the production line for the ES6. So the only thing really I think going full bore right now is the ET5. But if you just look at April 3rd through 9, new registrations, NIO is at 1,300. Lee is over 4,000. Now I know Lee only has like one model. They're not peer EV. I get that, but still a lot more than Xpeng. But it's just not a great number. I mean, you multiply that out by 50 weeks, comes out to like 65,000 vehicles, and they're telling us that they're going to produce almost 4 times that many. So we need to see NIO step up production once the ET7, ES6 come online. We need to see these units start going because, like I told you in a previous video, um, four months are almost gone by. So in the final 8 months of the year, NIO is going to have their production in extremely high gear to come anywhere near the number of units they told us they're going to deliver. Um, I'd just like to zoom back out, go over the short interest really quick on one of my proprietary subscription sites. Short score 58%. I give the changes over the last 3 months. I believe 1 quarter is a good period of time to look at. These growth stocks move extremely fast. I don't like looking at changes at longer than that. And I don't really like looking at changes in the short interest over just a 1 month period. But I can give you those numbers as well. Short interest value is 843 million. That's down from 918, down 8%, but that's just down based on the price of the stock dropping, I'm pretty sure, because all these other numbers are up. Estimated short interest of free float is 7%, up 9% from 3 months before. Free float on loan is 13.41%. That's up 61% from 3 months before. Shares on loan are 177 million. Very, very significant, up 62% from 3 months before. Cost to borrow 0.72, up 10% from 3 months before. And utilization 36.55, up 57.4% from 3 months prior. Let me give you the 1 month short numbers just in case you're wondering. Also, these have just fallen just very, very slightly in the last month. So we're up significantly from 3 months ago on short interest, and we're down just a little bit from 1 month ago. So you can see, there's a lot of doom and gloom a month ago. NIO had dipped way down, I think around $8. And since then, management has reinstilled a bit of confidence with the numbers and their projections, and a lot of good news also coming out of the energy side. They shipped the ET5 to Europe. There's just a lot of good news in NIO. We have to see production. That's the bottom line. The promise is there, the models are there, the engineering is there. We have to know, can they get the supply chain and the production lines moving to produce more units? I mean, it's very, very simple. The stock is not going to move up until they start producing these units in volume and just increase their sales. I mean, it's nice to hear about more battery swaps, ultra fast charge, exports to Europe, all of these things, but the way EVs are, the way EV companies are priced, are valued, is a lot off of their production numbers. This is true with Tesla. This is true with just about everybody. So, poor production, first part of this year, first quarter, it's seen a lot of the Chinese EV stocks get absolutely hammered. Tesla had been doing pretty well over the same period because people expect their production to ramp pretty dramatically as Berlin and Austin begin firing. So this is where we are with NIO. We are sitting at $9.83. Definitely, I would say in a pretty much a sideways trend. If you look at, we were a month ago, we were at 850 and we've gone up significantly. But if you look at the actual trading pattern, it's not like a really convincing uptrend. It's a lot of plateaus. It's a lot of algo trading. It's a lot of nonsense. And then just going back to 6 months, like November 1st, 2022, we're at this exact same level. This level, 971-ish, and in high nines. This has been support a couple of times, November 21. And then again on December 30th, very end of the year, we were testing this exact same level to the low side. And hopefully we can flip that and that former resistance level can flip and become support if we can break on through and get again to that 1180 level, or if we can break through again up to 1890, then we could actually have something going. But for now, as long as excuse me, it's very warm in here. As long as production is stagnant and we cannot get out of this sort of 10 to 14, 15,000 range, I think the price is going to stay pretty low. If we can get to 20,000 units per month, I think the stock will, get back up and challenge that level that we talked about, which is, you know, around 1866. I would call this sort of the $20 area, but because we've been trading down and sideways, I think it crosses my trend line more 1866. So I think if we can get to producing 20,000 units per month, we'll challenge this level, or at least this trend line, wherever we happen to be. That's just a complete guess. I have no idea what's going on. Can you give me your thoughts down in the comments? Where do you think NIO is going to go? What do you think about the Shanghai Auto Show? What do you think about NIO deliveries? What do you think about production? What do you think about valuation? What do you think about short interest? Surely there's not going to be any short squeeze on NIO because, there's over 1 billion shares on the float. But the point is, with the almost 180 million shares sold short, the cost to borrow is significant. And if there is some really good catalysts that come through for NIO and production ramps up and we start getting some momentum, certainly those shorts covering are going to put more buying pressure on the stock. I just don't use the term short squeeze. It's just, they'll be covering and that'll help the stock go up. But, we don't want to squeeze. We want to actually go up based on the merits of the company. At least that's the way I'd like to see it. My name is DannyDealz. This has been Un Poco Mas. We're talking about the NIO stock, ticker symbol NIO. It's April 17, 2023. Shanghai Auto Show is about to start. Give me your thoughts on NIO down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Please, guys, have a great Monday night. Hope it's a good one wherever you are, and I will talk at you again tomorrow morning. My name's DannyDealz. This is not financial advice. It is the ramblings of a person on YouTube who you do not know and you should not trust. It's just information, opinion, food for thought. I want you to do your own research on anything you're even thinking about buying. Do extensive research. Wait. Don't rush in. You're not going to miss out on anything. There's always another good stock coming. So do your research. If you don't know what you're doing, buy an index fund or get the advice of a licensed investment professional, which I am not even close. But I am your buddy. I'm DannyDealz. For Hurricane Lopez, I'm signing off. Have a great night.